Welcome to Jen's Awesome Show. I'm here with Nick, and we have all kinds of questions. And hopefully, if you were reading anything I posted on the socials in the last little while, you're going to be in the comments asking questions too. Just, add some spice to
wait,
it.
I've got to answer the questions of everybody now? Come on, man.
Only if you want to. And
Yeah,
nobody says you have to tell the truth.
Well, you're right.
Yeah. Nobody says I have to tell the truth either. I got some great stories. So I also have some questions, and they're completely all over the place. Just,
What a shocker!
Shocker. A little bit of get to know you. What's your favorite place to be in nature?
My favorite place to be in nature? There's two that are real close. Number one is a golf course. Granted, it's carved out of nature, but it's surrounded by nature. So, give me a credit for that one. But, I love it. It's a great little walk ruined by a little white ball. But the other place has to be a beach. There's just something that is just so awesome about sitting on the sand and just watching the waves come in and listening to that rumble. Yeah.
I like everything except sitting on the sand. I hate sand. Sand is my evil nemesis.
Yes.
It gets in everything and you can't get rid of it.
Exactly.
But the beach is lovely. I'm not really near the beach.
All right. So. Yeah. I'm a 7 hour drive away from all the major beaches and stuff. So
that's not too bad. Yeah, it would take us a lot longer. I mean, there are lakes and stuff, but that's not the same as the ocean.
Yep. Nope.
We'd be looking at a couple days. So
I get that.
Yep. What's your favorite outdoor activity?
Besides golf, it would have to be grilling.
Okay.
One of the things that I love to do, has anybody that's ever been in the clubhouses can attest to, is I love to cook. And, grilling is basically cooking with a challenge because you got to make sure that the grill's at the right temperature. The outside humidity is correct. You have to make sure the temperature outside doesn't cool the grill down fast enough. So it's kind of like grilling with an edge. Cooking with an edge, sorry.
Yeah, well, here's one I can throw at you. I have memories from my childhood of my dad going out to the grill when it was -20.
Oh yeah,
it can be done. Yep,
been there, done that. Lived up in Chicago for quite some time, and so my dad would take the grilling duties if it wasn't snowing or if it wasn't freezing rain or something like that. Yeah, we'd be out there.
Yep, it's worth it. Always worth it. That's one thing that I don't have at the moment is a grill. I never did get used to the propane. We tried it and I just couldn't love it.
Yeah, but see, the cool thing is nowadays with the grills, you can get a wood box in there, and you can soak some wood, throw it in, and then you can get the flavoring from it.
Yeah, I'm a natural gas person.
Okay.
Because once there's no fuss and
yeah. No, I get that. So you're more about, it's just more about the convenience of the natural gas, which is fine.
Oh yeah, completely. In terms of flavor though, nothing beats wood. Campfire nachos are a family hit. So
dear Lord, yeah,
they're a big one. Yep.
Oh yes.
So what's the most interesting place you've ever been to?
The most interesting place I've ever been to, that would have to be, Akihabara in Tokyo. Nuts, absolutely insane kind of nuts, but it is nuts in a really, really fun way. There is, so basically, Akihabara is kind of like Disneyland for people that loves anime. And so you've got all the little anime figures around there, and then you've got the mascots walking around of the anime figures. But you also have things like Maid Cafe, Butler Cafe. They're all themed cafes around there. And they all really, really take it to the extent like, you wouldn't even believe. The Butler Cafe that I went to when I was out there with my friend Josh, we walked in and it's like, good morning, sir. How are you? They took your coat. They took everything, let me show you to your table. And, can I do this for you? Can I do that for you? Somebody even offered to cut my fingernails. And I'm like, all right,
Wow.
dude. Yeah. I mean, it's a full, they really get into it. A lot of these I call them immersion type cafes because, it doesn't have to be a maid cafe or a butler cafe. Sometimes they do like a horror themed cafe and you got one of the Walking Dead guys coming by and going, bring coffee, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a place you got to go once in your life just to go ahead and see the wackiness of it all.
That sounds fun. I'm definitely going to have to put that on my list. Before I get to the comments here, what is the most terrifying place you've ever been to?
The most terrifying place I've ever been to? Ah, man, that would probably have to be, golly, that's a good question. That would probably have to be on the edge of a volcano in Hawaii, just because knowing that granted, they've got enough safety there to do it, but God forbid something happens and Mother Nature decides to throw a hissy fit. Next thing I know, I'm sliding down and I'm in. So it's like, whew. And yeah, even though you're standing far enough away, you can still feel enough heat on it. I mean, there are times when they have to close it. But if it's, kind of like in a dormant, not 100% active, like maybe like 0.001 active, you can go up there and, you can take a look down and see.
Yeah, I've been to one of the volcanoes there and it was amazing. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. I was very impressed.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's good, but you're just like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I remember thinking, oh, people camp here? Why do people camp near here? Why?
Yep.
How do you run?
Oh, yeah.
You run down the mountain? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So, looks like we've got a couple of questions here. When will animated GIF support come to the Uplift world? Ooh, that's a good one.
That's something that I don't have an answer to yet because that is kind of far down on my priority list. My priority list right now is making sure the servers are stable, making sure we can migrate to AWS, and making sure that all the stuff we've got planned coming up can actually function. It's a cool idea to have and stuff like that, but I've got to make sure that the TPS and everything else gets solved first. So it's on my list, but it's not my highest priority. Sorry.
That makes sense. And if there's, solving some TPS, then adding more to that wouldn't necessarily help yet.
Yeah.
So you said AWS. When are we looking at that?
It will be before the year's over. I'm going to tell you that, but I can't tell you exactly when because we're taking 14 steps forward, but we're only taking 3 steps behind now. So, I mean, I'm working with a lot of really, really sharp minds here, and we're working on it, and it's just trying to figure out the balance.
Okay, I like that. I'm excited about it personally, but
you and me both.
The possibilities.
Anything to get us off the servers that we're on right now. I mean, I love the fact that they've been up and they've been working. But if you were to see what I see in the back end of it, you'd sit there and just be like,
oh. So there's fun down the line.
Oh, yes.
Fall will happen, winter will happen. Everybody's indoors. We want to be online more, and we can have the cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Another question from the comments here. On gratitude, can anybody open any door? Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's the same across all the servers, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't have anything that you can lock a door with. I mean, you can put a sign up there and, in front of it, but then you've got to break the sign, open the door and get it out. But I mean, we're not locking any doors. There's no real reason for us as a server mechanism to lock your doors.
And I think with iron doors too, if you don't have a redstone button or a pressure plate or something, you can they'll stay closed.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Hey, it's TC. What's up, TC?
I don't know who TC is. I feel so
Oh, you
sad.
are missing
I
out.
know I'm missing out. I can
You
tell
are
that from the
missing.
social media, but I don't know what I'm missing.
The guy. The guy kills me. You got to come to a couple of our clubhouses that I host with
I really
cousin
should.
Tori. Mm-hmm.
I really should.
Yep.
All right. So, what is some really, I was going to ask for really useful life advice. What's some really crappy life advice that you've been given?
Real crappy life advice that I've been given.
Yeah.
Go ahead, stay with that girl. She really loves you.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't trust those.
Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
that's some of the crappiest. And the other crappy one was, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I know you're still young and stuff like that, but put money down on a house. The housing market, it'll pay you back real quickly.
Ooh, no.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's good to get a house, but not when you're 25 years old, man. Go ahead. Your mind is still baking. You're still trying to figure out what the hell you want to be in your life. So go ahead and rent an apartment for a little bit. Get the money to come in. Make sure that you've got enough. And I mean, thankfully, I was blessed, and I had enough. Where if I wanted to, I could put it down on it. But no, I mean, I just took a look at the way the housing market was and stuff like that, and I couldn't really understand all the financing and stuff. Again, I'm 25 years old. I'm 4 years out of college. I don't even know what I want to be at in my life. So yeah, that was the worst piece of it. That was the other worst piece of advice I got.
That was pretty close to us, but yeah, we went into the house because the mortgage was cheaper than rent.
Exactly.
So that was a big draw at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you live a very full work life. How do you create work-life balance?
I create that balance because I have a wonderful, fantastic, incredibly awesome partner that I call my wife, and she is the one that kind of drags me kicking and screaming away from the screens and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, she knows when there are emergencies and stuff like that, and she, will let me do it. But she's the one that makes me want to not sit in front of the screen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. That and also, I don't know if you know what my avatar picture looks like when I'm on the Telegram and stuff like that. But I also have this one cat that I really love because he's freaking cool. His name is Samson. He's a Maine Coon. I love all of my cats, but he just really gets me.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. He's like the little kid I could never have, because I swear to God, he comes up to me and he'll sit there and bitch me out because I didn't have his food on the table in the spot that he normally wants it in enough time. And he doesn't really meow like any other cats. He sits there and he really sasses you out. It's like, meow, 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 meow. I'm like, Jesus. And Samson's kind of a very fun little case. I love talking about all my cats, but Samson a little bit more just because him and we get each other. He was found inside of a CVS by another rescue friend of mine. Okay. And so I initially took him off her hands because my boss at the time wanted to have a cat. And then she backed out at the last minute because her husband said, well, we've got these two dogs and they're kind of skittish. And if the cat jumps them to play out, they might not come back. And so I'm like, all right. So then, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to figure out where he needs to be and where he needs to go. And then he just did the absolute cutest little thing. And I'm like, yeah, buddy, shit, you're staying.
That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. But he has rewarded me. He has rewarded me many, many, many times over for helping him out too. So, I mean, he makes me laugh. He makes me laugh. And there are times though when he makes me cry too. There was one time when he was missing for 4 days. We found him up a tree. Oh, wow. And I thought he either got hit or somebody else took him or something like that. And that just, that really got me because he's only been here for 3 years with us. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, he's gone already. No. So then finally my wife, was like, I want to take a look in this area. I said, he's probably not there, but just go ahead. And he was up a tree. So we got him down. Now he doesn't climb trees as much.
I believe that. I believe that. Cats don't go in
Mhm.
reverse once they're up a tree.
Yeah. And this wasn't a tree where I could go ahead and just slap a 20-foot ladder up and go get him. He was 42 feet up.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's a long way.
Yeah.
It's impressive that you were able to get him down, actually.
Yeah,
That's pretty high
thankfully,
up there.
my brother-in-law is nuts, and he's got a tree climbing apparatus, and he went up there the whole way, and he got him.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Nice. So for anyone who doesn't know, which is probably a lot of people, because I get asked all the time when I start talking about it, what makes a Maine Coon different than a regular house cat?
Maine Coon, well, he is actually a hybrid. A real Maine Coon is usually more lion-like in their features, but their main feature is their incredibly awesome long tail. They have a tail that's probably about as big as my arm.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. It is a very majestic. It is a very long tail, and it is very floofified. Now, the real purebred Maine Coons, they will be very, they'll be very staunch. They'll be very large. I mean, we're talking they can get up to probably 32, 33 pounds, and that would be an average size of it.
That's impressive.
And yeah, I mean, there are some pictures on the internet that are faked of a Maine Coon cat, but the real ones can be about as big, can be about as wide as your torso.
Yeah, that's bigger than my 6-year-old.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Huh. Okay. Let's see. What do I have next here? Ooh, if you could take a road trip anywhere, where would you go? What would you drive? Who would go with you, and why?
If I could take a road trip anywhere, let's see. Well, first thing I'd have to do is I'd have to fly over to Europe. And then what I would do, I would go ahead and drive. There's a little stretch that spans about 2 or 3 countries. I can't remember the exact name of the road, but it is between France and it's between France and a couple other ones. I can't really remember, but it is just so beautiful on it. And you go through so many different things. You have a dense wooded forest when you start, and then you go to like a nice set of mountains, then you go to rocks and crags and stuff like that. Then you see just nothing but sunshine and meadows. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. And what would I be driving? I would probably be driving a like probably a Mercedes G-Wagon or something like that, something big, but also something that I know if something were to happen, I would hit a wall. The wall would probably hurt more than anything else.
Yeah.
And who would I be with? I would be with my wife, but I'd also be with as many Uplifter team members on my team that I could stick in the back.
That sounds like a good time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Interesting. Oh, we have another comment question here.
Mm-hmm.
Chests in the Uplift. Can anyone take items from another player's chest?
Right now, yes, because chests are basically just open property. If you put it in, because I mean, if you take a look at spawn, in a lot of places we have a chest and you can open and close it. So therefore, if you can open and close it, anything inside is free game.
Okay, so is that true with chests that are on people's plots as well?
If they're on the plot and they don't have builders access to it, don't quote me on this one, but I don't think that they can.
Okay.
But they may be able to. I would have to ask somebody a little bit smarter than me on that one. I'm good at the Minecraft admin side, but I thank you, TC. That is the road, the Pyrenees road.
That makes
Yes,
sense.
thank you. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Ben, he's our master Minecraft, guru, along with Dr. Wayne and stuff like that. And when I can't figure something out, I go to them and they're like, "Oh yeah, you idiot," blah 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 blah, and we're good. But yeah, so but as far as I know, chests are always open to all. But if they're on your plot, I really don't think you can open it unless you have a build right. But don't quote me on that one.
Okay, that seems consistent with what I've experienced. So
yeah,
excellent. Tell me about one of the most interesting people you've ever met.
One of the most interesting people I've ever met in my entire life. Wow, I've met a lot of them. I've been blessed, and I've been blessed in having a good working relationship with a lot of charities, and I've also been blessed with being in the right place at the right time, type of thing. One of the most interesting and impressive people that I have met would probably have to be Jackie Gleason. He is a man of humor, and despite the fact that he was a rampant alcoholic and sometimes a real big dick, if you caught him in a good mood, he was the nicest guy you'd ever met. Very multi-talented, very very intelligent as well. I mean, it takes a lot to do vaudevillian type comedy and stuff like that. He had it down. I mean, he was telling me all about this. There is actually a science and a theory to pratfalls, and he was telling me all about that stuff. Because I asked him, I said, hey, I see a lot of times you sit there and you fall flat on your ass, or you'll do a flip and stuff like that. And then he started going into some of the physics on it. He was going into a couple of things. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, dude, really? I thought you just, study, just practice it a couple times. No, he's like, yeah. He said, like anybody, we got to hone our craft. I'm like, oh,
interesting.
Wow.
I had no idea. How did you end up meeting him?
Airport. We were socked in. I think it was either Los Angeles or it was San Diego Airport, and we were socked in. And I had at the time, because I was always flying with the company I was with, I always had first class tickets, so I was in the first class lounge. And back then the whole "oh my God, it's a celebrity" type of thing wasn't a huge thing yet. So they would sit in the lounge with us and stuff like that. So I mean, there were times where I've met Chuck Connors, the Rifleman. There were times where I've met superstar celebrities. I was sitting next to Gibbons from ZZ Top, not the guy that just died. I was sitting on plane next to him. He had the key tied into his beard and stuff like that. We were just laughing and stuff like that. And I mean, you meet a lot of people when you travel.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Good times. Yeah. So, this will be a question with some thought. How are you making the world a better place right now?
I'm here.
Fair.
I am making the world a better place by instilling a lot of the stuff that the Uplift has basically allowed me to beacon out. And that is being grateful to everybody, loving people as much as I possibly can, and just basically the whole win-win-win type of quote-unquote economy. And why I'm saying quote-unquote economy right now is because you can't put a price on going ahead and saying something or flipping a small little switch and seeing a little girl's face light up for the first time. But I have been practicing a form of the win-win-win economy since I've been out of college. My father and mother have always instilled into me, that everybody deserves respect, no matter what they are or who they are. They deserve an ounce of respect until they take it away from you. Then you're out. But there was when I was working with Amoco Oil, there was a little girl that was crying her eyes out because she couldn't afford to get a little Amoco bumper sticker or something like that. And she wanted that bumper sticker so bad. And her mother, she just had on her restaurant uniform and stuff like that. So I know that she pretty much probably spent a lot of money just to go on the tour. So I went ahead and I said, "Hey, Mom, come here for a minute, bring your daughter." And I said, "Pick out 4 things here. I don't care how expensive that they are, just pick it out." And so the kid picked out a bumper sticker, a couple other little things, and I paid for it. And then I said, you good now? No more tears? And she hugged the crap out of me. And
that's worth it.
Yep. And the mother, she just didn't even have any words at that time. And I'm like, there's no need. That's fine. And I wasn't taking pity on her. I wasn't doing it. It's just something, like I said, mother was having a rough day. I had the funds. I had the ability. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't have.
Yep.
So.
Awesome.
Yep. And as long as you all remember, because, right now, as you know, we're batting a lot of people in crypto that are fun, Oh my God, I'm not getting this immediate thing. Why are you not doing this to cater directly to me? I need this. I need that. This is not catering directly to what I thought it should be. Now, granted, we've made a couple mistakes recently. I'm not trying to gloss that over. But what I'm saying is the people that are sitting here and looking at this as their own personal ATM and stuff like that, you don't have the true meaning of what we're doing here. And that's why I'm really choosing this particular moment in my time to remind you all that while we're here and while we're making money and while we're all doing this stuff, remember that we're all here to build each other up, lift each other up, support each other, and be one hell of a fucking incredible, awesome, top tier, 1000% notch group of human beings that care about something beyond our immediate vision.
That's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I know everybody that's in the stream right now and everybody on the Telegram channel, everybody in Discord, that's why I know that a good portion of them are here. So my hat, if I had one right now, it would be off to y'all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's wonderful. So when you are negotiating something, what's your go-to strategy for convincing other people to go along with what you want?
Being confident and also coming in with a hand grenade full of knowledge.
Sounds like a plan.
Mm-hmm. If you come in from a weak as in like your type of perspective shows that you haven't really prepared. And when I come in and if I've got something I'm really passionate about, I've got the hand grenade sitting right here of knowledge, and I will have no hesitation unleashing it all. And if you guys still say no, then I gave it my all. So
I like that. That's nice and straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here. Ooh, this is one of my favorite questions. What is a technological innovation that has recently sprouted from the Uplift, and what's a potential use case for it in an unrelated industry?
Punch sign, get NFT.
Okay. That's a good one.
We're like this close to getting that done. And what the ramification is for a lot of other industries. So let's go ahead and say, this Metaverse thing catches on, which it will. We're going to go ahead and be like, yeah, we'll be sitting there in the retirement homes just going, yeah, I remember when we thought about that. Hold on a second. Let me adjust my virtual reality goggles here because I want to go ahead and get myself another pina colada. And instead of getting NFT, I get a pina colada.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And also, it's going to be fantastic. So for this exists in a lot of other places, but it's not really I don't think we have a tangible form of it yet, where there are children out there that are either autistic to the point where they can't be a verbal communication, but they live in in front of a computer, and they can interact with the computer because it calms them and soothing to them. It's a place where they can feel more at home. So if we can take this technology that we're building right now and move it into the virtual reality or just 2D world or just regular world where, punch sign and you get something that comes right out here, right next to you. Perfect. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be a tangible object. It can be like, you go ahead, you punch sign and you get an automatic download of your favorite, music or something like that. There was a girl that I know that was a nonverbal autistic, and she loved what the hell was that theme? I think it was like something from Barney or like a kid show or something like that. And she would play it nonstop and stuff like that. but she was always she always would love interacting with her computer and stuff like that. And sometimes just YouTube wouldn't load and she would get frustrated and stuff. And so what I did was I took a picture of her favorite cartoon character and did some HTML. And when she pressed on the character's nose, the music would play. And she would sit there and she'd laugh and when she was having a meltdown, her mother would take her in, let her press the nose, and she'd hear it and she'd be perfect. So, that kind of thing is where, this punch sign get NFT is not only going to be valuable to, us sitting in this world, but it's going to be valuable to people down the road.
Definitely. That's fantastic. And what is the significance of having all of that on chain?
The significance of having it all on chain is basically to go ahead and achieve ultimate transparency. So you can't say, no, I didn't make that, or no, this never happened, or, liar, liar, pants are on fire. Go, okay, go right back here. See, punch that. Yeah. And, if it was something that was your creation and stuff like that, you could see, and it's something that you just didn't rip off and then, do a little magic and then come back, because then I could go ahead, like for instance, these guys that are scamming the pictures of the, the Uplift World memorabilia, the Garbage Pail Kids, all that stuff, and they put it on the scam. You can go back and say, well, this person here went ahead, visited that, because it shows that, either they had it or they visited or they saw it, did something to it. And then you can make the direct correlation, know that they're a scamming ripoff motherfucker.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a wonderful, wonderful little thing.
Anything and it's digital.
Yeah. And the other thing is that we've got to be cognizant of is, yes, we can put everything on the chain. There are some things that shouldn't be on the chain, like personal medical records and stuff like that, because I don't care. Know everything that you want to know about me. If somebody wants to get my stuff, they're going to get it. It's my job only to make it harder for them to get it. But no offense, I don't want anybody to know if I've had, like a wart on my back that was removed, or, if I had crossed eyes when I was younger and I had a, surgery or something like that.
Yeah.
Unless I want you to know it, you don't need to know that. And there's a lot of people that are like, make everything transparent. Put your medical records on NFTs. No, don't do that. Please don't do that.
It would be one thing if certain people who needed to know could have access to information, but until that can be guaranteed, it's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now, because I come from the healthcare world, we've got all the HIPAA laws and stuff like that, and that's a really good start, and that's a really good way of getting it done. Once we can transform this onto the blockchain and have it be 100% secured, that'll be phenomenal. Because if something happens to me when, after 20 some odd years being with the Uplift, and I get to retire with 4 Lambos and 2 jets and a cache of money and stuff like that, if I have a heart attack in the middle of Brazil or something like that, somebody could just go ahead, punch an NFT, or go into my place, punch sign, get the NFT that grants them access to my medical records. All right, there we go.
Yeah, that would actually make a big difference, and especially if it could be translated, because that's something that we ran into.
Yeah.
The clinic where I worked at was occasionally people would come back from somewhere and they'd had something done, but who speaks that language?
Exactly.
So,
and try and read a doctor's handwriting anyway.
Yeah, it's not just a bad joke; it's real.
Oh dear God,
yes. Excellent. All right, so this will be a fun one. If you were going to bring some art into the Uplift, whose art would you want to see?
Well, the obvious answer is more of yours, Jen. But if you had to go with like a famous type of artist, there's been a lot of them lately that's been on Lgnd. I want a little bit more of James Jean in the Uplift.
Yeah.
There's something about his artwork that just speaks to me. It's just so tranquil and peaceful, but it's also vivid and alive. at the same time. Like the one that he had with the seamstress, or I can't remember what it was, but it was one of the first ones that came out. It was just beautiful, and it was the way the kinetics flowed and stuff like that. It was, I mean, it just spoke to me. I wish I had $45,000, $60,000, to go ahead and be able to pay for that. But
Yes.
yeah, but I mean, it was beautiful, and it was flowing. The other ones that I would love to see in the world. Would be mostly a lot of cartoon artists, because as everybody knows, I am a huge Marvel fan. I'm a huge cartoon fan. I would prefer to watch cartoon than any regular show any day of the week. They're fun. They're a way to escape reality, and it is something that makes me happy. So if you guys ever out there ever want to know how to make me happy, show me some new cartoons, show me some new anime, show me all that kind of stuff, and I will be thankful for eternal.
Good to know. Really good to know. That's fun. Okay. So let me see here. I guess following up with that, do you ever envision a time where we would be able to have video in the Uplift integrated into it?
Right now, within Minecraft, that isn't really 100% a possibility, because of the fact that Minecraft only would allow a frame rate of about 20 frames per second. So it is not gonna work. Yeah, I mean, you would have such a beautiful masterpiece, and it would just be like this, and you would not have a good experience. Now, there's ways of confusing it by using motion blur and stuff like that, but it would just be, it's really because of the fact that Minecraft is a wonderful little game and stuff like that, and it's very customizable. But unfortunately, due to its underlying architecture, it's not expandable to the way that like things like an Unreal Engine would be able to be expanded out to, or another gaming platform would be expanded out to.
Okay, that's all good to know and keep in mind. I guess this is something to address now too. For all of the Minecraft enthusiasts who are joining us in the Uplift, how would you explain the goal of Metaverse to them?
I'm sorry, you blanked out. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, there are a lot of Minecraft enthusiasts in the Uplift.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how would you go about explaining to them the goal of creating a metaverse as opposed to creating a Minecraft universe?
Think larger. Think further than yourself. Think further than the fact that, oh wow, I can go ahead and put 4,000 hoppers on here, and I can take so much redstone, put it up here, and I can do all this, and I can think beyond that. Think about attracting people to your plot for stuff that's outside of Minecraft. Minecraft is a great game and something that you can play in any other world. In our world, you can play it if you want to. We're not going to say no, but you're going to have a much better experience playing the full Minecraft in another world. Whereas with ours, we want you to do something that's uplifting. So you'll share the resources with everybody. You'll, you can make some really good machines and stuff like that. But if that's all you're doing and you're not really helping anybody, you're just like, this is Minecraft. So therefore I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to PvP everybody, or I'm going to go ahead and do this. 90% of this is not for you. So because it's a metaverse, think outside of the box. Think what you can do with this particular build that's going to make people be like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. Or, oh my God, I want that. Hey, can I hire you to do that for me?
Yeah, I was out at the art vending machine yesterday and rode the roller coaster, and it was a real interesting mix of, oh wow, look at that view. Oh wow. Ah! Yep. So it was just, it was all the feelings all at once, and it was a lot of fun. I would highly recommend it. But that, I think, is probably an example.
I've already been there. So Joe, I know you're sitting out there listening. Good job, buddy.
Yeah. There have been a few places in the Uplift where I've been and thought, more people need to know about this or go check this thing out. But I think it does have to be interactive. Baddington's also had a roller coaster that was pretty interesting and fun.
Right.
But what do you do that's not a roller coaster? How do you get people interacting with what you're doing? So
Basically, the easiest way to get somebody interested, build a story. Don't just make it a maze. Build a story, start to finish. And as the story evolves, build that in. So start your stories small. Start with chapter 1. Build chapter 1 on your land. And then a month later, erase it, chapter 2. A month or so later, erase it, chapter 3. A month or so until you get to the penultimate end. And this is where the punch sign get NFT is going to be valuable, because as they walk the story, I got the NFT. The NFT, it's got the chapter of the story that I just walked through.
Yep. I like that.
Yep. Another way to do it is to basically provide something that isn't available in your section of the world. So let's go ahead and say we've got somebody, say like from Tokyo, that doesn't really have access to like American clothing or something like that. Put up a clothing store, and have a couple pictures of actual American style clothing. Or let's go ahead and turn the tables around. There's a lot of stuff in Indian fashion that is very fashionable and stuff like that. It's very cool looking. So put up a couple sarongs, put up a couple saris, put up something. Showcase where you live. Because with the world, with COVID and stuff like that, I'm not able to travel into all these places. Show me a little bit about what you're about. Make me interested in you. Don't make me interested in, oh, look at that. That's a cool robot that I copied from a schematic that came up from, somebody else here. Make it a little bit about you. Make it personal. Or like I said, make the story. Hell, you could even if you want to, you can even make a quote unquote music video. You've got somebody coming in and they take a look, and you can read a book, and the first book has one part. The second book has, a different way to go for it. Think about the old choose your own adventure stuff. Punch sign, vote for that particular thing. And then you can weave it into a music video, or you can weave it into a story, or you can weave it into something. If you make it interactive, it's going to be fantastic.
Definitely. I've seen that from the few that I have seen that are interactive. And I like the story, and I like the idea of the music video. I think that could probably be put together with Redstone somehow. That's not my skill set, but it could be done.
Yep. And again, when we get to punch sign, get NFT, punch sign, get music video.
I like that. So is there anything out there then in internet land that you can't use with punch sign get thing?
Probably is. I just don't have the answer to that at this moment in time.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, right now, unfortunately, there's no way to stream audio directly through Minecraft. You have to go outside. You have to go outside of it, which we are working on as well. Because we need to get it for Music City. We need to get it for all this stuff, and that is one of the things on my list of priorities to do. It's just we've got to figure out the way to make it as seamless as humanly possible. So like when you go into enter.theuplift.world, there may be something in there saying get the audio experience. Click the button, it'll take you to a thing that'll have just a little browser window that sits behind your Minecraft, but it'll play everything that you need to.
I like that. So a couple of more good questions in the comments here. Joe's really full of questions. This is wonderful. I guess we'll start with the one at the bottom here. How far away are we from punch sign get NFT? That far away.
Can't tell you an exact timeline because we are working on so many different projects right now, and we work concurrently and stuff like that. But it is that close.
That is exciting. That'll be a lot of fun. And
Right.
next one is, how far away are we from transitioning from a Minecraft metaverse to whatever the next level experience is?
That is not up to me, unfortunately. That is up
Fair enough.
to the people that are a little bit above me by the name of Corey and the people that pay our paychecks, because it is not just, like saying, okay, I want to go ahead and develop a game. It is basically making sure we've got the funding for the game. It is making sure that we have the storylines, making sure that we've got everything that we need to make that transition possible. And a lot of these game platforms that you see that are on like the mobile platforms and stuff like that, the reason why they can churn them out is because they take a pre-purchased package, change the avatars in it, and then they can push it out. So that's why you see a flood of these games, like, hey, move this lever, hopefully the person doesn't die. Because all they do is they just take it and change it so they can rapidly develop it. Stuff like we're doing right now would have to be created from the ground up.
Yep.
So
that's different entirely. And that also explains why I got bored of the mobile games so quickly.
Yeah.
They're not exciting. What about Uplift, though? Would Uplift ever consider having a mobile sort of anything?
There is a 2D game in the works. I'm guessing from what I'm hearing from the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Corey, and also happen to know another rad developer. Call him Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is working on something as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, and there is a special Skunkworks project in there that I can't really tell you about. But all I'm going to say is, I don't have access to it, and I really want access to it. So, Corey, if you're listening, I want to know what's going on with that thing. And if you're not listening, damn it, listen to this stuff. I'm here. Your cousin's here. Why aren't you here? Come on, really? But no, there is some stuff, and the reason probably why I haven't been invited in yet is because we're probably still pie in the sky type of thing doing. So they'll probably. Hopefully they would bring me in when they get a little bit closer to, actual development, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because if not, I'll sit there and cry and feel like, I'm neglected and nobody loves me anymore. So, but yeah, no, but I do know for a fact there is something that is apparently going to be mind blowing. And hopefully it is mind blowing, because if the people that are working on it that I think are working on it, then the working on it is going to be working out to be awesome.
Okay. Well, I have a question. There's one in the comments here too. Russell's wondering, do you have a plot of your own?
I have a couple plots of my own. Ask me if I ever have time to build on it.
Probably not. That was going to be the next question. Do you have any builds of your own or Uplift team builds?
I have, the only realistic Uplift team build that I have is anything with the bee gardens. I have made it my mission to make sure that if we've got stuff that is on screen or on or on podcasts or whatever, that I incorporate a bee hive or a bee thing wherever it is, because bees are becoming a very unpopulated portion of the world right now, and we really need to save them, because without the bees there's no pollination, without pollination there's no food, and without the food we all sit there and starve and die. I mean, granted, there are other things that can do it. Bees just are really fucking good at doing it.
They are, and they're friendly too. They're not going to come up and bite you when you're not looking.
Yeah, the only ones that I really don't like are the ones that are really protective of their hives. And then they sit there just you're 40 feet away from the hive. Attack. And I don't even see the hive around it.
Right.
And then, but then we've got a couple of carpenter bees and stuff like that. And we call them our guard dogs, just because they come up and when we come home, we open the door to the car. There are two of them. Frickin' Frack, we call them. And they just take a look. They're like, okay, human check. You're my human. Thank you very much. Frack checks her. And then versi. And then, we're allowed into our house.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bees are nifty like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasps are just evil little fuckers.
They can take a hike.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have a place in the ecosystem. I'm still trying to figure it out, but no. Mm-mm.
I did see one the other day that was covered in pollen, so I guess they're pollinators, but they're not nice ones.
No.
They keep trying to steal my lunch meat.
Yeah. Well, the funniest one of the funniest stories had to have been when I was 6. We had a swing set in the backyard, and I went out and I was swinging on it, and then all of a sudden I just felt something go like this, and I took a look, and there was a wasp coming right for me, stung me right here. So I'm a kid. I fall off the back of the swing, and I instinctively cover here, and then it stung me on my butt.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
That's really unpleasant.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And apparently at that point in time, I was allergic to wasp stings. I'm no longer allergic to them, thank the Lord. But this part of my face was like, and my butt was just, so I had to sit on the donut for I think like a week.
Oh no, that is not fun.
Yeah, no, not a good way to spend your summer.
No, really isn't.
Yep.
Really isn't. All right, so what else do I have here? What is one of the riskiest things you've ever done, and why is it important to you?
It's a PG-13 thing, isn't it?
Preferably.
One of the riskiest things I've ever done was legit quit my job and come here.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a really, really good job with a healthcare company. Everybody there liked me, and I loved every one of them. I found that I was starting to get a little bit mired in what I was doing. And while I don't mind regulations and stuff like that, when I started having meetings about meetings to get meetings of a meeting, I was like, now this is starting to, we had a change of leadership where I was, and the new leader and I, we really just didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. My department basically was being systematically dismantled, and nobody even told me about it. Yeah. So, I'm like, do I really want to do this? And then, and it was at that time the Uplift came in, or I came to the Uplift, because technically I came to you guys, and you guys were like, "Hi, you're cool. We love you. Please come play with us." I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Which is if I ever really had to go ahead and gauge, I would guess at least 80% of the people that are employed by the Uplift had that same type of experience.
Pretty much, yep.
Good.
Yep. So let's see here. Okay. I really only have one question left because I've addressed all the rest of my stuff. What's a piece of history that everyone should know about, and why?
Wow. There are a lot of them. But just basically because it's been glossed over for so many years, the Tulsa Massacre.
Okay.
Yep. That was like single-handedly one of the most violent acts in America against a race of people and a group of people. And besides, like the American Indians, it breaks my heart to know that it even happened. I know that it happened. I understand that it happened. I will never agree why it happened. But yeah, it is something I don't even want to go into it on this one, because I'm trying to keep things light here. But if there's something that really, really needs to be looked at, it is the Tulsa Massacre. If you have HBO and you watch The Watchmen, the new miniseries of it, they touch on that so much, and they touch on it so accurately. You'll actually learn how it is, and you'll be as pissed off as I was. I had known a little bit about the Tulsa Massacre, beforehand, but that was just little, blurbs and stuff taught to me in school. I learned what it really was thanks to a TV show. And that just made me sad to be not only just an American, to be a human.
Yep.
People will call it a lot of things. They'll call it the Tulsa race riots. They'll call it, but its real moniker in history is the Tulsa massacre. That's the only way to describe it. Now, you know me, I always go on the positive side of life, but man, when you see how much that whole segment of our history has been oppressed, you'd be pissed too.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm. On the happier side, a piece of history that should, always be recognized is the day Charles Schulz was born. Charles Schulz was the author of my favorite cartoon of all time. He did the Peanuts group. Charles Schulz was a very kind man. He was very generous. I wish to God I would have had the opportunity to really have met with that man. We had fleeting meets, in airports and stuff like that. Snoopy was the guy I slept with when I was in my crib and stuff like that. And Snoopy has been a big part of my life for many, 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 many years. And it was kind of a poetic justice, but it broke my heart. The very last Peanut strips that ever came out was the day that man died.
Oh.
And it was like everybody's always said you're put on this world for a purpose. His purpose was to bring us peanuts. And he gave us the Peanuts gang, and he gave it to us in a way that, I mean, come on, who doesn't watch a Charlie Brown Christmas? Or who doesn't watch, it's the Easter Beagle, Charlie Brown, or something like that. Mm-hmm. Somewhere in this world, you'll have a connection with somebody that has seen that. And it is it was fun, but it was entertaining, and it didn't shove the Christian overtones down your throat, but it kind of made you want to be a better person by just reading the Peanuts. And when that last strip came out and I found out he died, yeah, that took a little bit out of me.
That would.
Yeah. And to know full well that he was a hockey player too. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Well, changing tack just a little bit here. When you look for a new cartoon to watch, what do you look for? What makes you want more?
Well, it really all depends. If it's within the realm of anime, I want a good storyline, but I also want a little bit of action packed to it. Or if it's something where I'm like, if I'm in more of like a slice of life type of mode, like there's this one, My Roommate is a Cat. It is a beautifully told story about a guy having to deal with his own demons, deal with his own issues, but he's helped out through his cat. So, it's like, is it a compelling storyline with that? But if it's a cartoon where I just want to sit and not care about a goddamn thing, shut my brain right off, what's going to make me laugh the hardest?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. Your family, Family Guy still makes me giggle from time to time. Simpsons has lost its edge. I'm sorry to anybody out here that still loves to follow Simpsons, but they've really lost their edge. Family Guy has kind of lost it too a little bit, but it makes the resurgence, and then it's like, okay, we're at the top. Let's just go ahead and slack and go down. But cartoons don't always have to be like this comedy gag type of thing. King of the Hill, I used to like watching that. It was fun, because you have Boomhauer and all that stuff in there. But every now and then it touched on a good couple little things. So it was always like, I'm a kid of the '80s, so I grew up with and now on a very special episode of Blossom, type of thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of used to that. I'm kind of used to that format. But 9 times out of 10, if I'm looking for something, that's an Americanized cartoon, they always make me giggle my brains out. But if I'm looking for something that's a little bit more heady, a little bit more compelling, I will go over to the anime style because, number one, anybody here that's ever seen Spirited Away by Hayao Miyazaki, you'll come out of that a changed person. That man not only tells the story through the actual verbal words coming out. You have to watch it more than once. Watch the background, see the detail that he's put into the animation, hear the music that has come out, and just all that gets together, puts together an emotion that just can't be duplicated. And also his works, Hayao Miyazaki, are always open to interpretation. There's not a set thing. Like, for instance, in Spirited Away, there's the biggest debate is the girl in the story, is she alive or is she dead? And did she somehow come back to life?
That never even occurred to me.
Yeah, you don't know. You really don't know. There's little clues that lead either way. I mean, I know the way I lean, but man, that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just such deep meaning behind a lot of his stuff. But then again, you go ahead, you take an anime like what was the one that I was just watching? How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. It's about a guy, and the reason I'm watching that is because it makes me laugh. It's about a guy that's kind of like a geeky gamer, and he gets sucked into this fantasy world, and he's just basically an awkward person, and he gets surrounded by a whole bunch of really shapely looking demons and stuff like that, and they're like going, "Oh, love me, love me, love me," and he's like, "Oh, Jesus!" But it's it's the way the comedy works in there, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that I don't care about the storyline. I'm going for the gags that are in there and stuff like that. But then there are some other ones, like on Netflix. There's one called Beastars. It's really kind of messed up. It's all about anthropomorphized animals, but it also touches with the true nature of man, whether he is a predator or whether he is prey or whether he is something in between. And how can a person that is either predator or prey strive to be that person that's in between? So it's a very unique take on it. Granted, they get a little heavy-handed on a lot of stuff, and there's just some weird sidelines to it. But the overall story makes you kind of think about it. And while mainly I go into cartoons sometimes just to shut my brain down, there's a lot of times where, like I said, if I'm really needing something to engage my mind, I'll go to the anime world more than I go to the traditional Western type of animation, because there's a lot of thought, even behind the most screwball ones. There's a lot of thought sometimes in them.
Okay. Is there any that you would not recommend?
Oh, there's a list. There's a list of
a mile long.
Yeah, one of the ones that I would not recommend would be what the hell's the name of that? Hold on. I actually have it written down, so in case I ever think, hey, I haven't seen this in a while, I remember it. Hold on, pulling it up in the vault. Oh man, Food Wars. It is just so stupid. Oh my god, it's about a kid that all he does is like make food, and they get together and they battle in these grand arenas. But some of the food is like so. I mean, take like Hell's Kitchen and make it horrible. I mean, Hell's Kitchen is bad, but make it horrible, because you got the guy and he's like, haha, I worked at a little dive restaurant, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the best food that some of the 5-star Michelin chefs has not made, using a bottle cap, a snail butt, and this and this and this, and you're going to love it. And I'm like going, it's food.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's food. Now, there is a touching one called Restaurant at the End of the World, where it gets a little bit more into the personalities of the people that are coming into this restaurant. So it's more, while you sit there and you do get a couple good recipes out of that. I will tell you that. So if you ever get a chance and you're looking for something good to eat, Restaurant at the End of the World, you'll get some really good restaurants. There's like a chicken katsu recipe in there that I've tried a couple times. Fan-freaking-tastic. But Food Wars, yeah, that's just really, really bad. Basically anything like the Naruto stuff, I just can't. I can't deal with it. I just really can't deal with it because it's like, oh, it's the storyline just goes from here to 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 here. And granted, it's supposed to be fantasy and stuff like that, but some of the stuff you're just going, what the fuck is even going on here?
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, again, these are just my opinions and stuff like that. But there are a couple that, you know, I like watching, but there's, you know, everybody's like, oh, you like that? Holy shit, no, ew. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm a lot of questions.
That happens?
Sometimes.
Wow,
Sometimes it happens.
That is amazing.
I could go with the classics. What's your favorite flavor ice cream?
Oh, chocolate. Wait, no. Time out. Dark chocolate with mint chocolate chips.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is tasty.
Yeah. So, all right. Now we get to play Surprise Twist.
Okay.
Jen.
Yes.
What is your favorite part about working with me?
Probably your kindness and your willingness to help. You're very approachable, and I appreciate that quite a bit.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So switching this thing back, one of the things that I love working about with you is the fact that we can laugh, and we can laugh about pretty much damn near anything. And the fact that, like, you are usually a calming vision to me, because there's a lot of times, especially when I'm dealing with the group of people that, you know, don't particularly like me for some reason, that I think I'm probably wrong about that. But whenever I've come in there recently, I've been bombarded. I think you know what I'm talking about. And, you know, when I see you around there, I'm like, oh God, a shining light, somebody that actually gets me. Thank you, dear God. And hopefully I am wrong about that. Hopefully they do like me and they're just having bad days. But yeah. And the other thing that I like is the fact that I can have a really stupid conversation with you, or I can have a deeply intellectual conversation with you, and we can go from stupid to intellectual like that.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. So if you had to pick one of your favorite builds that isn't Art Vending Machine, because I know that we all love the Art Vending Machine because it's really freaking cool.
That is very high on my list.
Yeah. What would it be? And it can't be anybody you're related to.
Darn. Because that was an obvious one.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can't be anybody I'm related to, and it's not the Art Vending Machine. The Rocket Gallery on Genesis.
Yeah.
Filled with beautiful art.
I am very ashamed to say it. I didn't know that they even existed until I saw the special that we did on it, and I'm like, oh, I got to go view that. And I took some time out of, you know, before I went to sleep. I took some time, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is really freaking cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. There's lots of good art in there. In terms of adventure and fun, that one's a little trickier. Probably because if I'm looking for adventure, I don't really go looking for somebody's build.
Yeah.
So that's a different one too. The Banana one. They're the original murder pit.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I like that. I saw that. I ran into that yesterday. It's near the rocket, so I took a trip down the murder pit.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, when I did the flip, for me, that's one of that is one of my favorite ones. But also the other one, just because it is. I mean, it's not even fully developed yet. The Blue Room.
Yes.
The Blue Room is one of my favorite because it's so avant-garde, yet it's so just right. I see where they were going with it. I see the designs on it. And yeah, I mean, it's really freaking cool. It is, you know, going to be the art, video, music gallery of, you know, the next millennium type of thing.
It's very calming.
Yes, it is. Kind of like the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Blue.
Yes.
So, all right. So, your husband, we know that you have one, and he's a wonderful human being.
Yes.
If you had to trade one of aspects of his personality for anything else, what would it be? And you don't have to answer this. This is just a thought experiment. And the reason why I'm putting you on the spot with him, because I see him in the comments right now, and I'm just trying to see what his reaction is.
This is a good question, because I'm not sure I would. There are one or two things that I find vaguely frustrating, but nothing major enough that I'd really want to trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, Russ, she does love you unconditionally.
There are reasons why people do the things they do and why we are the way we are, and usually, eventually, those things all make sense.
Yep. I know my wife would basically, the one thing that she would change about me, and the one thing that I'm trying to change about myself, is the fact that I need to remember to take care of myself a little bit more often. I tend to take care of everybody else but me. So, like, my room's a little bit messy. I need to, make sure that I get a haircut more often than once every 2 months, kind of thing. But yeah, that's one thing that I know that she wants me to really get back on. And damn it, I'll probably have to do it just because I love her.
That always sounds like a good plan. And haircuts are easy on clippers.
Exactly. But the last time I did, when COVID first came out and I did it myself, I looked like a murder goblin.
That probably describes my first homemade haircut too. It was pretty bad. And the first time I tried using I have some texturizing shears, and the first time I did that, Russell came in and took a look at me and he's like, "No, we have to get the clippers." It was that bad. Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta learn.
Yep. And, the thing is, granted, I still have all my hair, but it's white. And so when you mess up and you got to go down, your scalp looks really, really, really bad. So it's like, hats everywhere. Don't go out. Don't do anything. So, yeah.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong. I love the fact that my hair is still here. The silver comes with a lot of stories, and a lot of stories mean a lot of good whiskey. So.
I bet.
All right. And so the last one before we have to get on up and get on out is, what is the one thing that you are so incredibly happy about? And it doesn't have to be your family. That if you could shout it from the top of Mount Everest, what would it be?
It's a complex thing. It's not a simple, straightforward thing. It's the combination of having time with the family, because I get to work with a team of incredibly creative and innovative people.
Cool.
And I get to work with an incredibly innovative and creative team of people because I wanted to have more time with my family. It goes hand in hand, and it's absolutely wonderful.
The thing that I would shout from the top of the mountain is the fact that not only do I get a chance to work with some of the most innovative people and most thoughtful people on the face of the planet, I get to be part of a community that is 5,000 strong, that believes in us, that is willing to work with us, and most important, helps spur us along to be great. So yeah, I would shout that from the highest peaks.
Absolutely. The community is vital. You can't have a metaverse without a community.
Exactly.
And if you start with a community and build the metaverse on top of that, that you can't go wrong.
Yep. Exactly. All righty. Unfortunately, I've got a meeting that I've got to get into in a couple minutes. But Jen, as always, it was really fun talking to you. I want to do this again and 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 again, and maybe even one more time.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Cool. Joe TC, Russ, I see you out there. Thanks for coming along. Bring more
Definitely.
people
Thank you.
next time.
Yes. And maybe next time we should talk while we're fighting monsters in Nemesis. Just add some excitement to it.
Yes.
Excitement and death.
Always, always, always. They go hand in hand.
It's a good time.
Mm-hmm. Thanks again for having me on. I do appreciate this time.
You're welcome, and we'll see you again.
Mm-hmm. Ciao, ciao.